To all who come to this happy place, welcome to Lilo and Stitches. I am your host, Jennifer, and this is my beautiful 18-year-old daughter,
Juju.
Juju. Okay, so today, I know we have not made a video in a very long time, but I have been busy on my main channel, which is a crochet and crochet arts and yarn art channel, Cinnamon Stitches. But if you are here, you're here for Disney content. Now, this video is going to be, usually it's me and Mr. and Stitches. No. What is Daddy's name? I don't even know. It's been so long since we did a video on this channel. I'm so confused. Chris and Jen, okay? Chris did not go to this event that we're talking about today. We are talking about the pin event, Magic Hap Pins. So, as you can see behind me, I am a pin collector. I am not a trader. She's a trader. She turned me on to trading. She wanted to go to this event, so this was all her idea. This was my second actual time trading pins. The first time was in June of this year as a practice for this event. Like I said, I'm a collector. I'm not a trader. I buy the pins that I really want and I keep them and I don't trade them off. And the idea of trading is very new and foreign to me. So with all of that being said, and the fact that we're new at this, we've never been to this Magic Happens pin event. Last year it was like one family pin event. This is new to us. And so we are going to run this by you. Our experience at the Magic Happens pin event in August of 2023, our experience as newbies. We are also going to show our pins, so that will be towards the end. And we're also going to say a couple of things we would do differently next year if we go. Now, to start, we were in Disney World, well, actually last August. She had heard online and heard about the pin event for the one family pin event last year, and she started researching and got really interested in it. And then she kept saying she wished she could have known earlier. She would have went to the pin event. So we had a year of planning to go to this event. Tickets to this event, when were the tickets released?
I think it was in June, if I remember correctly.
So they announced the dates, I think, in April. No, it was May. It was May.
It was May. It was a little less than a month before you could get the tickets.
So go ahead. They announced the dates and then what? Because she's the one that did the ticket thing. That was not me at all.
They announced the dates and then like slightly less than a month later you could buy the tickets. And then when you bought the tickets, you had to go to a website and it put you into a virtual queue. And it depended on what type of tickets you wanted to buy. And there was the Sorcerer package, which would give you an extra hour of trading, and you get some extra pins along with the package that you didn't get with the other package. With the other package, it was you got your ticket to get in, and you got 2 pins along with your ticket.
And so in order to get the Sorcerer's package, you had to be lucky to get chosen to be selected to be in the Sorcerer's package, which A, costs a little bit extra, but B, gave you extra benefits as well. And also another thing, when you buy the tickets, you have to be the only person that's buying one single ticket for yourself. So if multiple people in your family or party want to go, you have to each be on a device to get into the virtual queue to buy a singularity ticket for yourself. I was not a part of that process. Her and Chris got on, which is her dad, got on and got me and her both a ticket using 2 separate devices. And we lucked out that we were both able to get one. The process it's difficult. It was difficult. It's difficult to get tickets to the event because you have to be in a virtual queue. You have to hope that you're lucky enough to be able to get the tickets. And then a lot of people couldn't get a ticket, or they couldn't get a ticket for a second party, like their husband or whatever. So it was like a one-person thing. I found that to be difficult and frustrating, but I understand because it is a very cool event that a lot of people want to go and experience, there are also a ton of people who want to get into these events to get the specialty pins to resell at a markup. And there were a lot of resellers there. I will just say that. So they have rules put into place to limit how many people can get in, so that this is an event that is open to not just resellers, but also a fair shot at getting the pins. So for example, they had, hold up your pin bag, they had specialty pins that you could buy for the event only. And again, you have to, so these are the pins I'm talking about. That makes it so much better.
I think that whole thing is the event.
Oh yeah, these are all her event. We'll show you in greater detail. They have specialty pins that are available only at the event. And if the camera is shaking, it's because there are 3 dogs on the floor going around the camera. We don't usually shoot on a tripod like this. In order to be eligible to buy the pins that you want, and pull out Donald. This one was a very hot commodity. Everyone, I know, everyone wanted this pin set. I'm gonna grab him by that little pin. This pin was greatly wanted by a lot of people. So a lot of people really wanted this pin. This is a Donald Duck. It's the pin traders, but it also has, this pin pops out, so it's like a button. This pin was so popular, a lot of people are still in search of it. She was one of the very lucky people to be able to purchase that, because you have to go into like a reservation system for the pins as well that you want to purchase. And this limits people from buying excess pins for reselling purposes. Bentley. And it's called RSP. Put your name and the information and your credit card information into their system, and you say, hey, I want this pin, that pin, this pin. So you're probably still gonna hear him barking, but he's not in the room anymore because he's a puppy and he doesn't have his brains in yet. So anyway, I will try to speak loudly over him. He should be quiet in a minute. He's actually barking at the other dog. So in order to get a chance to purchase these pins, you put your number in, your name and the information into their system, and they do like a raffle. They pick people for each pin to be able to purchase it because there's a limited number of pins. The Donald Duck sold really quickly. It went out, and I even tried to get a Donald Duck pin and I was not able to, and there are a lot of people that were not able to. There was also a really large castle pin that I tried to get and I was unable to purchase because it was also another one of those popular pins. So they put you in for this drawing. You put in the information, your credit card number, you put in the pins you want. They pick certain people to be able to get the pins, and they'll do multiple drawings until all the names or all of the pins are gone. And there was mystery boxes you could purchase, and there were individual pins, and then there were pin sets, which I also showed you, the 6 pins on the top. And at varying prices. I think the lowest price pin was like $23 or $25.
Yeah.
And then the biggest set was the castle. And that one was a couple hundred, I think. I want to say it was 150.
I thought this was the most expensive one. It was 180.
I don't remember because this was a couple months ago. But it was a lot of money. The pins were expensive. They were limited edition. They're beautiful pins. Some of them are very unique and beautiful. And it was fun when you got acknowledged that, hey, you're able to buy these pins. And then it's sad when you can't get the pins that you really, really wanted. Frustrating again, but still, like, I understand why they're doing it. So I'm not down in Disney because I like that they're putting in protective things so that we're actually able to have a chance outside of us being resellers to just be collectors, you know, or traders. Now this happened, like, it was like 1 month they picked who got the tickets. The next month they picked which pins you were able to purchase. And then at the beginning of August, they processed your credit card information. And this was another issue that we had that was kind of frustrating because she was not an adult at the time we purchased the ticket. So she had to be registered through her dad's name. And his credit card was the one on file because he's the one that purchased the ticket because she was a minor at the time. She turned 18 in between the process. And so when they went to process the payment, the name on the ticket did not match the credit card and they automatically flagged it and said, you can't purchase these. So he had to make a phone call and say, I'm her father. She was under 18. That's why the credit card's in my name. And they processed it and let the purchase go through, but is another safety guard that they put up to stop the resellers or the, you know, that kind of thing. Frustrating for us, but understandable because it is a safeguard they put in. The day before the event, well, what day was the event? Do you remember?
It was on Saturday,
I don't know what Saturday was, the 20-something.
Second.
I swear I tried to be prepared. The 19th? No, the 26th? Was it the 26th?
No, it's the 26th.
Okay, so it was the 26th. So we don't live anywhere near Florida. So what we did is we drove down for just the weekend, which was an intense trip by itself because it's a 12-hour drive for us. We drove down and we got there Friday morning. And Friday morning, the day before the event, you have to go and pick up your RSPs, the pins that you prepaid for, pre-ordered, were able to be lucky enough to purchase. We went and registered saying, yes, we're checking into the event. They gave us, where's my lanyard? Do you have your lanyard?
It's in my bag.
They gave us these really cool lanyards for the event. And it has your name on it. And then on the back is the schedule of events for the next day during the event. And there was a very long line for check-in. Like, we were in line a good 2 hours for check-in.
Yeah.
So the check-in process was very long. You're standing in a long line. They had a ton of cast members checking you in, but they had to make sure everybody got their pins, the correct pins, and all that because limited amounts, limited supply. And they gave us the lanyards that we had to wear the next day. And they gave us what looked like a little credit card. And it said that this credit card is valid for 2 transactions only. And nobody had any idea what this credit card was for. And it had a barcode on the back. And we were asking around, the cast members didn't know or wouldn't tell us. Like, there was no information on this credit card. So we're like, what in the world? And then that night we took the opportunity to go to the Halloween party at Magic Kingdom, which was fantastic, but that's a different video entirely if I decide to make one. And then we got up bright and early, and the event started at 9 o'clock for the sorcerers, right? Mm-hmm. 9 o'clock for the sorcerers, and then 10 o'clock for everyone else. So the people that were able to pay for the extra hour got in at 9. We got in at 10. We actually weren't at the event at opening because I didn't want to stand in a very long opening line again. And when we arrived, there was barely a line at all to get in. However, the lines at the pin boards to trade at were very long. And the check-in process was easy. They looked at our lanyards with our name on it. They checked our picture ID, and then we were in. It was so simple, that part was. And I asked the cast member at checkout, I said, what are these cards for? And she said, oh, they're for the vending machines. Vending machine? What is a vending machine? Why do they have a vending machine? Okay, but the vending machine was so cool. And I'm going to try to pop up pictures on top of this or in between here because I did take a few pictures of the vending machine, but not much else. The vending machines were these cute little machines, and you walked up to it and you swiped your card and you turned the knob and turned the knob and turned the knob until a plastic ball pops out. And in the plastic ball was one of the pins that are available for trading. So they have big giant pin boards, much larger than this. They had some that were about this size, just filled with pins. And the pins are all Disney. I mean, these are obviously all Disney pins, but they were specialty pins. So they were either marked with AP or PP, which means artist proof. And what does the PP stand for? Do you remember?
No.
I can never remember what the PP is stand for. Anyway, I don't remember. I will look it up and put it on here somewhere if I remember. Actually, here, you Google that while I'm talking. And they're severely limited, and special pins that have a higher value because they're limited. And there's special markings on the back for saying that these pins are special. You know, they're either the artist proof, which maybe there's like 250 of those pins made. And there will be a number on the back that says it is one of 350 pins made.
Pre-production.
Pre-production. So it's pins that are not on production yet. They're not on the shelves. They're like the proofs, you know. And what was I going to say? So we went up to the vending machines, right? Do you have your vending machine pin?
Oh, yeah.
Right here. We went up,
Well,
and it was...
you have mine, but...
I know. So we went up to 2 separate vending machines. She actually had a problem. Her card, like, the first time she was able to get a pin, and we were allowed 2 transactions. And the second transaction she tried to make, it stalled out and then canceled it. And then took her credit. So luckily a cast member was right there and said these machines are finicky, and he just swiped another card for us, and she was able to get her second try. Now my pin, I don't remember the second pin I got, do you?
You got this one, remember?
I know, but you traded me one. I know, it's the Moana one. All right, so my first pin, we got the 2 balls, and we waited till we were back together to open the balls to see what the pins were. It was a lot of fun. I really liked the vending machine. I would have stood at the vending machine all day and just played with that instead of standing in line for the boards. The line for the vending machine was all of like 7 minutes long. And the first pin I opened up, I looked at it immediately. I knew it was for her, so I traded with her. And her first pin, she knew was for me, so we instantaneously didn't even talk about it. We opened our pins and handed them to each other because she loves Nightmare
Before Christmas.
I was at Nightmare on Elm Street. She likes Nightmare Before Christmas, and I really like all of the movies that are of Polynesian descent. So Lilo and Stitch, Moana. And so go ahead and show them your pin and show them what it does. This is the one I drew first and immediately handed to her. So that's the Pumpkin King.
And then the door opens to Sally.
And that one is marked. If I can see it. What is this one marked?
I think it was AP.
Yeah, I can't see. It says limited edition. Can you read that? I can't see that. So anyway, she traded me instantly because this was her first pin, and this is Tefiti from Moana, and I love it so much.
Yeah, it's AP, and it was a limited edition, 5,000.
And mine is marked. Can you read that? I don't have my glasses on.
It was a limited release, and it's AP.
Okay, so that our first pins were meant for each other, which was kind of cool that we just automatically, and we did that several times through the event. We would find something on the boards we were trading on for each other, and they'd come back and be like, look what I found for you, without even thinking about it. So my second draw from the vending machine was a Jungle Book, and King Louie and Baloo actually move and dance. And this one is, you can't see. I know it's got the marking on it. AP. So that's artist proof. So that was our first, that was from the vending machine. That was so much fun. And then we went and tackled the lines. And again, I will pop up some pictures. The first one she wanted to go to, the line, they had games on one side, and they had the big giant boards, like these kind of boards, but like 3 of these boards. That's how big the boards were. And the line for the big boards were a lot longer than the line for the games. And we saw the games were really cutely themed, so we went over to where the Nightmare Before Christmas was, and you get to pick a coffin. They had 2 coffins, and in the coffins was boards, pin boards, that you trade off of. So you go up, you hand them 2 pins from your collection that you want to trade, and you pick 2 pins to trade on the board. And if you're lucky, which I wasn't always lucky, she wasn't always lucky. You're getting a pin that is one of the Disney pins, one of the ones that Disney put on the board. The APs, the PPs, the limited editions. If you're not lucky, you get a pin that someone else traded that got put back on the board, which happened to both of us. And I was showing my pin that fizzled me out, and I was so disappointed. And the cast member tried to let me know, like, hey, check the pin before you walk away, because she knew that this one was a trader. It was not a Disney pin. I couldn't see even with my glasses on because there was a high glare, and so this one is actually for sale in the stores. It's not anything special, but this was my fizzled out pin. What was your fizzled out pin?
Oh, it was this one. It was from the big board because I panicked and I couldn't figure out what to take, and it's from one of the festivals.
I mean, they're still cool pins, and
I like Tiana. It's just there was a couple other pins that I wish I had grabbed instead of Tiana.
yeah, and it's hard because you get up there, they give you 60 seconds and they have a stopwatch, and the really big boards, you're looking at 200-300 pins, and you have 60 seconds to pick 2 pins and hope that you're picking one of the Disney pins and not one of the ones that have been traded. And because I'm so new, I have no idea what I'm looking for at all. I tend to look for characters that I like because I'm a collector, not a trader. She's a little more experienced. She kind of knew what she was looking for, but also, like, you're up there for 60 seconds and that time goes so fast, and for my brain personally, I have the ADHD brain. So when I see too many things in one section, my brain starts to, like, over process, and a lot of times it will just become a blur and I can't really focus on one thing on the board. Did you experience that at all?
Kinda.
Like, it's very overwhelming to
Yeah.
stand in front of all those pins.
That's why I grabbed the Tiana pin, because it's like there's 5 different ones I want, and like I'm freaking out because like time's like it sounds like so long, but in reality it's so
It
short.
goes fast. I did purchase, when we went to the event, you are also able to, they have a store open, and all of the pins, the RSPs that were left over that people didn't purchase through the reservation system I mentioned a couple months prior to that, they had a lot of pins left over. Of course it's your dad. They had a lot of pins, especially like the mystery boxes that people didn't purchase. And they had those left over in the store, and some of the bigger pins as well. So I went to the store immediately and I bought mystery boxes for us to open in line while we were waiting for some of the other games and stuff. And we actually lucked out and we didn't get any repeaters. So,
well, we got one.
Well, we got one repeater, but it was one we both were happy with having. And those were we just might as well show them. So I collect Aladdin pins. I love the movie Aladdin. I collect Lilo and Stitch pins, and I collect Mickey Mouse pins, or anything else. I like Donald Duck too. I collect anything that strikes my fancy or that is in those categories. So when I opened up this one, I was very, very excited because this is the Scarab Beetle from Aladdin. It's the piece that goes and opens up the Cave of Wonder. And I already have one Scarab Beetle that she gave me when she was trading. And then I also opened up the lamp from Aladdin. And these are really sparkly and really pretty. So that right off the bat made me happy. And then we also were able to get out of the mystery boxes while we're standing in line, which I think was so much fun to have mystery boxes to open while we're killing time. I also got the Ariel shell. This is from The Little Mermaid. And I got all of them, I think, except one. We got the Sorcerer's hat from Mickey.
I think we're only missing the Sword in the Stone.
Yeah, we're missing the Sword in the Stone, but like I'm not a big fan of that movie because I don't think I've ever seen it. Mm-hmm. So we got 2 of the Sorcerer's hats. So she got one and I got one. And then I also got the mirror from Beauty and the Beast. I'm trying to cover you. And these are all so sparkly and beautiful. And then I got the Black Cauldron, which I also have never seen the Black Cauldron. I know, what kind of Disney fan am I, but aren't they just beautiful pins? So I lucked out. I saw a lot of other people in line that had got mystery packs, and they I actually got a lot of doubles. There was 2 men in front of us in line, and they got mystery packs, and the guy got 2 of one pin and 3 of the other, so he didn't get a variety at all in his mystery pack, so I'm gonna count that as our lucky day. We decided to focus mostly on the games because they were shorter lines. And I think that's one thing we would do differently next time is we would actually stand in line and stick it out for the longer lines for the big boards because the pins were better quality. And the pins that we got from the small boards were, I mean, they were cool pins. Like this one is marked, I think this one is PP. Yeah, this one's marked PP and it's Goofy from The Prince and the Pauper. And I got that one off one of the small boards. I got this Mickey Mouse off one of the small boards, but I couldn't find any information on him.
He's from an advent calendar.
Okay, so he was probably a trader, but he's still cute and I don't care. And then she found this one for me on one of the game boards, and I collect the Walt Disney portrait ones too. I think this is like my 3rd or 4th one where it has Walt Disney's portrait in there. So she found that one for me, and I brought her on that same board. I found her a Sally.
You found me this one.
Oh, but I also found you a Sally.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, so I found her a Sally pin, and I found her one from, is that Hong Kong Disney?
Yeah.
That I thought she would like because it was Country Bear Jamboree looking. And yeah, I think that's it for those. For the game boards. Was this a game board one?
Yeah.
Alright, so I also found, I love Donald Duck.
From
the last game, the buckets.
Mickey one.
Yeah. And I got this one, which is a St. Patrick's Day, but it's Donald Duck, and it's so cute, and it made me so happy. And this one is an AP, so it's an artist proof. And then, you want to show any of your pins? Sure. You picked?
Yeah, I just now realized this was from the Nightmare Before Christmas one. So I pulled the Nightmare Before Christmas pin from a Nightmare, because it had the Nightmare Before Christmas coffins, and I actually pulled the mare from Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know if it's focused.
It's focused good enough. We can always insert photographs later on if it doesn't work in editing.
Oh, I also got this one.
This one is her like creme de la creme of her picks. This is the one she's the most proud of.
I love this one. It's
get it right up there.
Scrooge McDuck swimming in his own money. Right there. And I think it's supposed to be, it looked like a trading card from what I found out about it.
I fell in love with that pin when she brought it. I was like, that's so cute.
And then
the Mulan one.
I have the Princess Tiana version of this one. If you see it, it's a flower. I think it's supposed to be a cherry blossom, but when you open it, it doesn't look like she's holding a cherry blossom. And on the inside is Mulan.
And she, when those pins were released last year, they were released, she wanted the Pocahontas one really bad. Yeah. And we couldn't find it anywhere because they sold out so quickly. So when she saw that on the pin board, she was so excited because when she was a little girl, she loved Pocahontas and she loved Mulan. And so like that's really, and now she loves Tiana. She is like all about the Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
Is that all of them?
Well, I traded for that one, but that was not worth mentioning. And then this one, I collect the Muppets pins. I love the Muppets, and I got this at the last board, the 30th anniversary for Hollywood Studios, and it has Kermit on it.
Yeah, she loves Kermit. We actually went on a whole quest after the event and was buying mystery boxes from the regular Disney stores looking for the Muppet pins because she has the entire collection through us buying the mystery bags.
Well,
and she's missing Kermit. So there was a game that had the 2 coffins, pick a coffin, and then there were 2 different ones where it was a game where you somehow spun like this big wooden wheel. I have a picture of it, I'll pop it up. You spin the wheel and it picks which Mickey Mouse box you have to go to, and there was all these boxes and you went to the box that correlated with the picture on the spinning wheel, And that was the board you got to pick from. So they opened the box and you picked from that one. The boards had maybe 20 pins on there. Very small. The selection was not real great. And which is why I think next time we're just going to go to the big boards and skip the games. Because the whole day we were there from 10:30 until 5.
Yeah.
We left at 5 because I think the events ended at 6 and we left early because we were exhausted and we were on our feet all that time. We only got to trade 4 times.
Yeah.
So that's 8 pins total, and that's a lot of standing up for only 4 pins. And the really good pins that we got were the last board we went on, which was the big board. The third game that we played was a Sorcerer Mickey, like Fantasia, and they had big wooden buckets. You pick a number and they let you go to that number bucket. So it was 3 buckets. You pick a number 1 through 3. The cast member switched out right before we got up there and she broke the rules and said, I'm gonna let you look at the buckets before you pick a number. Which she was breaking the rules, but I was happy she let us do that. And the problem with that is I went 1, 2, 3 in my head, and I told her to go to bucket 3 because that was the pin she would have liked, and she counted them backwards, so she went to bucket 1 thinking that was 3 in her head, and so
yeah. I got my Kermit pin. So.
You did get your Kermit pin. The only thing I regret is not going to the bigger boards.
Yeah.
And not really knowing what I was doing ahead of time. The last board we stood in line for a very long time. It was probably an hour and a half. And it was the best board. It was one of the really big ones, like 3 times the size. Lots of pins to choose from. And they switch out the boards every 30 minutes. They refresh them. At all of the boards. The game boards and the really big boards. They switch them out every 30 minutes on the dot. And we were like the 6th set or couple because the big boards, you're in line, but there's 2 giant big boards. So it's 2 at a time are going up to trade. And we were like the 11th and 12th people. So we were the 6th people to pick from that board when it got refreshed, which was really fantastic. We got 2 different boards. We went up at the same time. We both had like 200 pins to choose from, and it was still fresh because only 5 people have picked it before us. And that's when she got the Tiana pin, but we were looking online at there's a Facebook group for the pin events, and someone was posting their picks, and one of the people found this pin on the board. I love, love, love Lilo and Stitch, and I love Halloween, and I really love moving pins. So when she went up to her board, she saw this, and I saw her face. She went, oh, and I thought it was going to be a Muppet pin or something that she just fell in love with, and she found a pin for her mom. And then she panicked and picked the Tiana one, so I felt really bad because she got me my Holy Grail pin, you know, and she ended up with a pin that she wasn't real happy with. But this is the type of pins that were on the bigger boards as opposed to the very basic ones on the games. So she got that one, and I got these 2 on the very last board, and then we called it a day. And this one on the board this part looked because the light was shining so brightly on the board, it looked fogged almost. And I was like, I'm going to get it anyway because it's really cute. And then when I got it out into natural light, I was like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that pin. It is perfect, and it's also marked AP. So it's the artist proof one, and then I was also able to trade for this one. And really, I was just drawn to the colors on this one because I have very few Chip and Dale pins, but the colors, I really love color. Color like makes my brain so happy. And it's a spinner, and it's Halloween. And so that was my second pin pick off of the board, which made me super happy. So I think I pretty much showed you all of our pins, all my pins that I got. And then after that, we kind of got addicted to pin trading. And I also did want to show you these cool bags I purchased. These are available on Amazon. I will put a link in the description box below if you are interested in these. The bag was, I think, $40 a piece. Show your bag. I really like these because they're small and lightweight, and you put we displayed our favorite pins or our best pins on the front, which is easily accessible by a zipper. but also when you open it up, you have plastic to protect the pins from banging on each other, and there's 2 pin boards in here for all of your traders. Now, because we're not like expert traders and we're not like hardcore traders, we didn't need anything bigger than this. But these are really nice made. They're Pinfolios. This is very like solid, secure. It holds the pins in there really well. They're not falling out, and it keeps them protected from each other. And it's got an adjustable strap. You can make it long or short. You can put it on your body. Some people had giant pin folios, like that held hundreds of pins. I can't foresee, because these are heavy. They're really heavy. I can't foresee having that many pins, honestly, just for what we do. But if anybody's interested, I do recommend those bags. They held up really well. They're really cute, and it's really nice. We had so many people stopping us to look at our pins and ask us about our pins. And so now we're going to show you the pins that we were able to purchase through the RSPs prior to the event and get the day before. So go ahead and show those and explain what those 2 are.
Okay. These 2.
You can take them off
right
there.
Here. They came with your ticket, your apprentice package. So you got the pin for the event, and then a pin with Sorcerer Mickey and a picture of Walt underneath. And those came with your apprentice tickets.
Yeah, so when you go to get your stuff, you get your lanyard and everything, they give you the pin on these. This was the welcome. They give you a welcome pin and a goodbye pin. So the welcome one was the sorcerer's hat, and the goodbye one was the Fantasia with, of course, Walt's portrait in it, which makes me happy. Trying to remember the purchases I made, because I don't think any of these were part of the RSP. I don't think I put my RSPs in here. So part of the RSPs, I haven't put any of my pins out of here. She got the Donald Duck one that I showed you, and she also got, you can just hold up that set.
I also have another one on the inside.
We'll show that in a minute. So this was her big purchase. This was what she wanted for her 18th birthday, was these pins. This 6 set was $100 and some for the 6 pins. The bottom row have movable parts. It's just, they're cool pins.
And that spins.
You're gonna hear crinkling because I'm opening my pins to show you guys up close. This was my pin of choice. She got the Donald Duck one. I was lucky enough to be able to get this one. And these are all based on events. So the pin trading one says, for Donald Duck, says pin traders. This one says getting an ear hat. So this little pin right here pops off. It's like an additional pin. And it's got Huey, Dewey, and Louie. That was my choice for that. And then they had a bunch of pins with TVs, like the old box TVs, and a movie. So it was like my childhood. I mean, she had a box TV growing up too, but she mostly has known flat screen TVs. So this is very much in like my realm of memories with Disney. So it's the movie on a TV set. And this one is the Cave of Wonders from Aladdin, and his jaw moves, which I think is so cool. It's got the little scarab beetle on there. And I think I got all of the TV ones that I wanted, because I didn't want all of them because I'm not a big princess fan. I don't really like the princesses too much. I'm more of an Ursula, you know? And then they had the Lion King one, which also came out when I was a teenager, and his head is on a little spring and it moves. Super cute. And then they also had, I mean, they had a lot of pins you could purchase, but I picked the ones that I really, really felt connected to. This is another one of the Pin in a Pin series, and this is riding an attraction. So this little pin comes off, and I had wanted this one because of Dumbo and Stitch. I love Dumbo, I love Stitch. When my son, who is now 9 years old, was when I was pregnant with him, we decided to do his bedroom in Dumbo themed stuff. So the Dumbo and the Stitch kind of both represent him because he's a little bit crazy. He's a troublemaker like Stitch. Do you have other pins you want to show?
No. This is the other, the last one that I got. And then I got this Festival of Fantasy parade float pin, and I basically grew up with Festival of Fantasy, so this is my favorite parade, and I had to get it.
And those Festival of the parade floats actually came in these really cool boxes, these really nice ones. I pre-purchased one because my favorite parade was Spectro Magic. That is the first parade I really fell in love with because I didn't grow up with Disney. We didn't have Disney. I was poor. So Disney is a since she's been alive type thing for us. My first time going to Disney, I believe I was 30. And the first parade I really fell in love with was Spectro Magic. It is a nighttime parade that millions of lights. And so I chose the Spectro Magic float. And these all connect together. So these have hooks on them. So my float would actually connect to her float from Festival of Fantasy. And these were $54.99. They were expensive, but they're big. They're like 2 inches. And while we were at the event, they still had some of the parade floats left over. So I also bought, what parade is this? Do you remember?
I don't. I remember the Magic Happens one that you didn't get.
And these are limited to 750 pins. I got this one too, and I don't remember what parade this is from because like I said, I have only been around Disney for so long, but I really like the way that look. And all 3 of these pins will actually connect together on the pin board. And then this big old box is probably my favorite. This one was $64.99, but it's 2 pins. And this is a limited number of 300. And it comes in this beautiful display box. And it's Mickey and the Sorcerer's Hat. But this reminds me of Fantasia. Not Fantasia. I mean, yes, Fantasia. Mickey's PhilharMagic, which is one of my favorite attractions at Magic Kingdom. And I was messing with it and I pulled it out. And I didn't know this because they don't advertise it. But behind the pin and the cardboard is a lithograph that says Disney Magic Happens. So I think I'm going to put the pins and this on my pin board up there because that pin board over there has more specialty, more of the specialty pins. So those are the pins we got. We also, while we were at the pin event, my husband knows that I love Roger Rabbit. Can you reach that one? The Maroon Studio ones? So, I don't think so. If you can't, don't worry about it. It's one of my specialty pins that I got for my birthday very recently here. They're celebrating the 35 years anniversary of Roger Rabbit. And so this is a special limited release pin that they released at Disney parks. And it is huge. Like, it's really big and it's really cool and fancy. But they also have released this one recently. And I have a story about Roger Rabbit. When this movie released, I wanted to see it really desperately. And so it was around my dad's birthday. And I had never been to the movie with my dad at that point ever. I wanted to take him to the movies for his birthday. I came up with this bright idea and really, I just really wanted to go see the movie. And so I used his birthday as an excuse to go see the movie. And we went in the theater and saw it, and my dad actually fell asleep and started snoring because he did that frequently. He would fall asleep wherever we were at. And so he didn't even watch the movie all the way through, and I'm sitting in the theater embarrassed because my dad is snoring. But I fell in love with Roger Rabbit. I have been in love with Roger Rabbit ever since. So the fact that, and Roger Rabbit pins are rare because it's not popular, it hasn't been popular for a long time. They have more in Disneyland because Disneyland has the Roger Rabbit ride, but not in Florida. So I got my Roger Rabbit pins. She collects Jessica Rabbit, but I'm more of a Roger girl.
I collect both of them. I can't find
She
Roger.
has this one too. So while we were at the pin event, her dad / my husband actually bought us each one of these, which was really, really cool. What were you saying?
I said I collect both of them.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to find Roger. It's easier to find the Jessica pins because they have like 2 or 3 Jessica Rabbit pins at Disney World, but there's no Roger Rabbit pins.
Yeah. So, all in all, we had an amazing time at the pin event. It was really hard being on your feet for that many hours straight standing in lines, but I mean, that's the way of Disney World. There's lines, you're gonna stand in them. So I suggest, my advice, learn about the event ahead of time so that you get a better chance of getting a ticket to get in. Put in as many RSPs as you can for pins that you really want to get. Do your research. There are groups on Facebook that are just discussion boards for these pin events. Look at them, join them, ask questions, read as many comments as you can, because we're newbies, so we may not have all the answers, but I'm just trying to give you as many of the experiences that we had. Collecting pins to trade. Now, what we did ahead of time is we went to the Disney Character Warehouse in the outlet malls, and we were able to get pins like this. This was $6.99 because they're clearanced out at the Character Warehouse. We stocked up on these kind of pins, and we got a collection of, did I take it out of here?
I think you traded it.
They're in that little black baggie. We were also able to get pins for $3.99.
Yeah.
So we collected on the pins that were clearanced out at the Disney Character Warehouse ahead of time, collected them, so we had traders, because I'm a collector, not a trader. I don't have a lot of trader pins. That changed this trip because I got slightly addicted to the mystery boxes. I had so much fun opening mystery boxes in line that were the special mystery boxes just for this event, that I started purchasing them in the resort we were in. And I started purchasing them in the parks that we were in. And I would just randomly hand her one and go, here, and surprise, she didn't know I had that many. I bought a lot of them. And we would just randomly open up and see what pins we got. And so now she's got a whole collection of pins. These are the ones I'm keeping. So we started collecting the Muppet ones because she wanted Miss Piggy and Kermit. We never found Kermit. She's got every one except Kermit the Frog. And then these are the doubles that we had. We actually have a couple more doubles than this one. But they're in my trader bag when I don't know where I put that. And then I also got a couple of these ones. These are the water, what are they called? Water something. Adventures with Water or something. And they're characters around water and they're in bubbles. But I really wanted the Dumbo one. And I really wanted the Stitch one, but I didn't get it. But I got Alice in Wonderland. And I got Nala, which I'm not this happy with any of those. And then while we were at the pin trading event, I saw a pin that was Space Mountain with a happy face on it. And so when I discovered those pins, I also collected some of those mystery boxes. And I was able to get the teacup, the Sword in the Stone, the Sky, what is that, the Sky, I don't remember this called. That was before we were there. It's not the Skyliner, it's something else. This is the gargoyle from Haunted Mansion, and then the Dumbo ride. And so I started collecting the mystery pins. And whenever we have doubles, if she wanted the doubles, I would give them to her. If I wanted her doubles, she would give them to me. And then anything extra that we didn't want, like I'm not a big fan of the gargoyle. I think he's weird looking. So I might trade him in the future. But I also got doubles of some of these. And they are in a baggie, and those will be my traders for next time we go to Florida or next year for the pin event. I already have like traders set aside for that event, and we are definitely going to go to the big boards exclusively. Yeah. Because the games were fun and the lines were slightly shorter, but the better pins really were on the bigger boards.
I would go to one
game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that.
Because I got my Scrooge pin at the Mickey spin one.
Yeah. I really, my favorite part of the whole day was the vending machine. Yeah. That was so fun to me. The line was short. We got really cool pins out of the vending machine. I could have stood there all day. Like, I could have traded only at the vending machines. I would have been perfectly happy. I really hope they bring that back next year. And we found out that the theme for next year is villains, which I am there for. Like I said, I'm not a big princess. I don't relate to the princessy type thing at all. So for me, I'm more of an Ursula, and you know. Do you have anything any thoughts you have about the pin event?
Not really. I think you kind of said most of my thoughts.
Yeah. And we always, at the end of the day, we always try to say, like, what was your favorite thing? So what was your favorite part of the pin event?
Honestly, I really like getting that Scrooge McDuck pin.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like the vending machine.
I really like the vending machine too. And that was going to be my next question, is what is your favorite pin from the event? And you already said it's the Scrooge one.
Yeah.
My favorite pin from the event is probably, it's the Halloween Stitch one that she got for me. And for me also, it's a good mom-daughter memory for me because she's 18 now and she doesn't have to hang out with her mom. She chooses to. But also the fact that we both were at pin boards, and both of us came back with pins for each other, which I thought was really, really cool. And to me as a mom, that is like a really cool thing, you know, that she's thinking of me and I'm thinking of her. Because like when you're a mom, your kids are always on your mind, you know, you're always like, how can I make them smile? But to have that reciprocated was that is a core memory that I'm going to have forever, and I'm probably going to cry about that. But it was really fun, and I really enjoyed the pin training. And there were quite a few people that interacted with us at the pin event. One guy in particular stands out to me. He was very chatty. I did not catch his name, but he talked to us for the whole hour and a half, 2 hours. We were in line for the big pin board, and he was showing me his pins. He was very happy about his pins, and he was asking about our pins, and he's telling us how his day went. And it was just a neat event. And because they're all traders, they're all wanting to see your pins. They all want to see what you got and learn about, like, you get like a camaraderie in the line. It's really an unusual experience, and it was a lot of fun, and neither of us are very social. We are very like keep to ourselves, very like just in our bubbles, and it was really fun to interact with other people who were just as excited about the pin event as you were. And I highly recommend, if you can go, to try to get in and go. If you like pins, I really suggest it. Again, I'm a collector, not a trader, but I think I'm a trader in the making. So thanks for that. She was so proud of herself. She's like, I gotta take a picture of you on your first trading. So she took a picture of me the first time I went up to the board. She made me go first every time. But I had a lot of fun, and I highly suggest this event to anybody that is into pin trading. There were downsides. The lines were excessively long. We only got to trade 8 pins total for the whole day, which means 4 trades at 2 pins each. I would like to see more boards up there so that their lines were shorter, or maybe separate so that there's a line per board instead of a line per 2 boards, because that made it felt longer. Although I don't know if that would make a difference.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 at a time, so like the line is moving at the same rate as if it was 2 smaller lines, but it just felt a lot longer. And I think that was the main complaint of everybody, is that the lines were so long. I don't know how they could fix that. But it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that we went.
Me too.
So, and I got some pins from the Halloween event, because we went to the Halloween party, and I'm so in love with these bright colors of the Halloween party this year. I even got like the bright shirt. So yeah. All right, so thank you so much for watching from me, Jen, and her
Juju.
And we will see you when we see you. I don't know when that's going to be. I don't know when I'm going to have time to make another video, but I do appreciate you guys watching. And leave a comment below if you went to the event, or what your opinions are. What is your holy grail for pins? If you're a collector, what is the pin that you're looking for? Who is the character or movie that you look for the most in your pins? I would love to see those comments in the comment section below. And thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.